It's part 6 on the Indy 600. Well, this time we're going to get after the front suspension. Now, most Indies, if the front suspension's fine, I leave it alone. But this one's pretty clapped out, so let me show you what we got to work with here. All right, I got you down low so you can see what I'm seeing. The camber is way off on this thing. And, of course, the first thing that should come to everyone's mind is radius rod bushings. So let's pick this thing up and see what it does. Oh, sure, did you see that? As soon as the weight came off, the camber corrected itself most of the way. What's that bushing look like? Oh boy, that bushing's just sloppy. So there we go. We know I got to rebuild the front end. We knew I was going to change out those rusty trailing arms anyways, so I'm just going to get after it. All right, well, let's start with these radius rods and see how far I get before I got to break out the grinder. Whoa. Well, I guess I was expecting the nut to come off. The question isn't, is the nut going to come off? They usually do. The question usually is the bolt stuck to the sleeve? That's pretty common on these. See that bolt? That is 100% for sure that bolt's rusted to the sleeve. So I'm going to get a punch and a hammer and see if I can knock it forward. But if I can't, it'll be grinder time. The good news is these trailing arms are junk. You saw the previous video. Maybe I'll insert a little clip of the rust right here. Check that out. Pretty gross, huh? And the bottom, or I should say the right-hand side, isn't looking so good either. So these are junk. So I don't care if I damage them when I'm cutting this apart. I'll maybe even sacrifice these trailing arms to preserve the radius rods. So let me get a punch and see if I can knock that out. Alright, that thing's stuck in the sleeve. That means I'm going to have to take the grinder and basically cut the head off, pry the ears open, pop it out. I was counting on replacing these radius rod bushings either way. Not a big loss. But let's try the next one. I'm sure it'll do the same thing. I'm sure it'll spin the nut off. Always spin the nut off. Come on. No, that one's even more stuck. All right. Well, that's just flipping great. So let me regroup here. Maybe I can get the radius rods off at the middle. That'd sure make everything easy if I could take this whole end off. Here's where I'm at with my easily least favorite task on an Indy, tearing down the front suspension. Got the old impactor with the swivel there. That's the good impact rated swivel. And I've already got one lower radius rod bolt out. The lower ones are the hard ones. So let's see what we can do. Get that lined up. Get it on there. Everything aimed right. Got my wrench, got my boxed end down here. Well, there we go. It's definitely going to be easier to take those radius rods off from the inside than out here at the end. Worked up a thirst there. So I got those 4 inner radius rod bolts out with the help of IR there, and old Betsy. Old Betsy is a Mayhew Intimidator made in the USA pry bar. I love these. I'm not endorsed, but I'm going to put a link below if you want to get some good USA pry bars. They're priced pretty reasonable. So, anyways, getting closer to getting the front end out. I've got a stay bar link loose. I got to take the other one loose. Then I got to get the shock upper bolts off. They tend to be the worst part of these front ends. And then at the very last, I'll get these rear trailing arm bolts out. So I'm going to keep going. If you hear any swear words, it'll be because of those upper shock bolts. They make me swear a lot. All right, that upper shock bolt's coming right out. Let me stop and show you my secret weapons for a second. So this wrench, I got it for $1 at a swap meet. Oh boy, is that a good wrench. If you can't find one at a swap meet, buy yourself a whole set. This is the best thing that I've ever found for getting in those upper shocks. And then its partner, the ratchet wrench. So if the bolt's totally seized, this may not help, and it may be a lot of work with this, and then God bless you trying to get it the rest of the way out. But I don't know, so far so good with these. Back at her. Good Lord, that fought me. Will that focus in on that? Those threads at the end are gummed up or something. They don't look good. I don't have my cheaters on, but I think they're all galled up probably. That was a battle to the end. Hell, I went and got work gloves for turning the wrenches because I thought I was going to bruise my hands, but I don't bruise. I didn't bruise. But man, that was a battle. One bolt away from clearing off this corner. There we go. As always, a victory. Rusty old Indies, man. It's tough. This side's going a lot better. A lot better. A lot better. Thought I'd be done by now. Oh, crap. Hopefully that bolt's not seized on there. Oh boy. Oh, good. It's all good. Bolt's not stuck in the sleeve, I don't think. No, it's not. Victory! One more bolt and I'll have the second corner cleared off. All right, well, let's survey the parts I pulled off and see what stories they tell. So, I think it's safe to say all these bolts are seized in the bushings and they're going to fight me. This end, wow, that's loose. Damn near get the ball out. This end, even worse. Holy crap. Those down there, I bet they're more of the same. If I'm going to do one side, I'm going to do them both. So the only things I'm saving off of this whole mess are these end links. I may not even save those. Even those shocks, they look like junk to me. I don't know. I mean, they look oily because I just sprayed everything down with Freol, but they don't look good. And besides, why would I mess with those shocks when I got a set of these right here? So I think I'll get these Fox IFP shocks rebuilt, and we'll use those on this sled. All right, well, just a short one tonight because it's during the work week. I got the front end cleared off. I didn't have to get out the grinder, so that's awesome. I got to order some parts. I got to figure some stuff out, but I made pretty good progress. So I want to say thanks to the patrons: Aaron Shriver, Michael Johnson, Matt DeFossi, Charles Myers, Alex Sherrill, Brandon Paraso, Dan Hosnute, Mike Jerish, Louis Brady, Jeff Eisert, and Brian Peters. Thanks, guys. It's really appreciated. Everybody else, you should go check out the Patreon page. That's where these guys get some behind the scenes and extra videos that don't go on the main channel. And, help support the channel on the Patreon page. You can contribute to the Beer and Pizza Fund or the Pizza and Parts Fund or whatever the funds are. Go over and check her out. And you'll also get your name at the end of the video. So thanks, guys. If you're still with me and you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit subscribe. And we'll see you next time.